watching The Breakdown with the fight analyst Garrett Kerman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Breakdown. I am the fight analyst Garrett Kerman. And on this show, we break down every single UFC fight card from a betting perspective to make you all a ton of money. Before we get into the breakdown, this show is sponsored by MMA Power Hour. Guys, head over there. We got some of the best MMA content out there. We pump out everything MMA betting related as well. Also, guys, sponsored by Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com for the best male grooming products on the market. Use promo code TFTA20 for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Oh, we're finally back, guys. We had a week off of fights, and I can't stand having a week off, but February starts a brand new month of fights. We have fights every single week this month. I'm super excited. UFC 258 on tap next weekend. So we got some good fights coming up. Kamaru Usman taking on Gilbert Burns there. We got a great one on top this weekend with Alistair Overeem and Alexandre Volkov. We got Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar. We got a ton of fights. I think it's about 14 fights this weekend. So betting wise, we have a lot of money that can potentially be made this weekend. I feel like there's a lot of mismatches on this card as well. But I'm ready to get down to it, make some money this week. I need a good bounce back. I've been in a little bit of a rut the last week or so. Crazy thing is, favorites were hitting at about a 60% clip to close out 2020. Coming into this year, so far in the first week with UFC, the big 2-1 underdogs or better are winning at a 55% clip, 6-4-11. That's pretty unheard of. So the people that were really dog hunting and getting those really good lines, they've been cashing out like crazy in the first week of the new year. But like I've said, eventually the bookmakers have to give us some of that money back, and that's going to happen the first week of the new month in February. I feel like they're going to take a beating. I don't see a lot of these dogs hitting. I see a lot of lopsided fights, a lot of mismatches because they just had to put some fights together, just like a bunch that kind of perspired already for this week. So yeah, I think we got some easy money coming up, and let's get into the breakdown right now. All right, so the first fight is actually new. I'm not sure. There's some rumblings going around, some rumors going around that Dennis Bonder is actually off the card on Saturday, and now Osbourne will be taking on Jerome Rivera at 135 pounds, I'm assuming. 140 pounds, I think at the most. But I think it's going to be 135 pounds. And, it's probably going to be about 140 pounds because he was having a 140-pound fight with Bonder here. So, yeah. We get Jerome Rivera again. That's awesome. Why is that awesome? Because we love to fade Jerome Rivera. I'm so happy he got another fight. So it gives us another opportunity to possibly make some good money against him. The dude is just not good. I bet on him on his Contender Series fight, in a fight where he definitely was gifted a win. Definitely shouldn't have won. I don't think it was a very controversial decision, big time. As far as his opponent now, and O'Day, he didn't look great in his first UFC debut against Brian Kelleher. I think it was just a big step up in competition, and then it showed. But then going from Brian Kelleher now down to Jerome Rivera is extremely hittable on the feet. He's been knocked down numerous times, and he can pretty much be out-grappled by anybody. The only drawback about O'Day is he can get taken down and he can get subbed. But I don't think Jerome Rivera is a good enough takedown specialist to really get it there, keep it there, and not overexert himself trying to get into a submission that's not there. And then O'Day can actually, capitalize off of that, because O'Day has really good submissions as well. So with this fight, don't know the line right now. The line is not out yet, obviously, because this is a brand new fight that I didn't really even know about until 10 minutes before this little podcast. But if I'm choosing betting wise, I'm gonna fade Rivera one more time. We're getting one more time that we could fade this man, and it's gonna happen here. I think O'Day is way too quick, way too long, very fast, very powerful striker. He's gonna eat up the lead leg of Rivera, and he's gonna land at will, and possibly put him away. And I think that's going to happen. I don't know the line yet, but I'm hoping it's like -150 plus 110, so we can make some good money. But I'm just going to assume he's going to be over 2-1 favorite. All right. Next up, what fight we got next? All right. Next up, we have a fight at 145 pounds between Youssef Zalal and Seung Choi. Right now, I think our man, what's his name? Our man Zalal is a -255 favorite, and the comeback on Choi is a +195 underdog. Another fight for Zalal on short notice against a striker now. His last fight was against Ilia Topuria, who's top prospect. That dude is legit. He's got power. He's got jiu-jitsu. He's got grappling. He's the whole package. And Zalal's defensive wrestling wasn't good enough to keep it on the feet. But in this fight, should be a striking affair. Choi is a powerful striker. He's a big 145er, 6 feet tall. He's got 2-inch height and reach advantage here. He's fought some good competition coming into the UFC as well, so you can't fault him with a 1-2 record. But I think Zalal is just a step above him in the striking. I think he's more elusive. I think he should be landing more. He should not take a ton of damage. Zalal is used to this small cage. He's fought in there numerous times, so he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to get trapped against the fence, and he's going to be able to fight his defensive fight and just land at will. And Choi can get taken down as well, so he can even mix in the takedowns like he's been doing. I think he's averaging almost 2 takedowns per fight anyways. I think Zalal gets it done here. I don't like the price tag -255, especially on just a week's notice, but we know Zalal can fight anybody on a week's notice. But I think I would take him by decision, which we can get at. We don't have it yet, but the over 2.5 rounds at -150 is also a very good prop bet. I like that a lot. I think that will definitely favor Zalal here. Over 2.5 rounds, good price, -150. Even over 1.5 at -250 is a decent parlay piece, because I don't see Zalal, getting an early finish. And if he does win, it's definitely going over 1.5. He's normally going to win, by decision, but we don't have that prop bet just yet. All right, next up we have a fight in the women's flyweight division between Molly McCann and Lara Procopio. All right. As far as low-level women's MMA goes, I'm not betting on this one. Like I've stated in other podcasts of mine, other videos of mine, I do not want to bet on low-level women's MMA this year. And this is particular low-level women's MMA. I bet on Molly McCann over Tyler Santos, and she shit the bed royally. That was an atrocious fight. And then I never want to bet on her ever again. Hopefully she wins. Kudos to her, but I'm not betting on that. It's not happening. I don't have a read too much on either side here. I know that Lara is a jiu-jitsu fighter. She's pretty good on the mat. We've seen Molly McCann. She has gotten taken down numerous times against Tyler Santos and controlled. So if Lara is able to get her to the match, she could get a sub. A sub at plus 900 is not a terrible play. It could happen. You know, if you want to just gamble on that fight, sure. Go Lara by sub plus 900. It's worth it. But I'm not touching this fight. Screw this fight. We're moving on. All right. Next up is another women's fight in the bantamweight division between Karol Rosa and Joselyne Edwards. Another low-level women's MMA fight. Same genre as before. I am not betting on this, especially Rosa's minus 220. Edwards, decent odds, plus 180. She just fought on short notice against Boo. Looked decent, looked good. It's worth a dog bet. I don't think she wins, but it's worth a gamble at plus 180. I think Karol Rosa will just probably eat her up on the feet and just grind her out to a decision. I think she's got the come forward pressure fighter, throws a lot of combinations in your face. I think Rosa's probably going to take it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a split decision. Just not a fight I'm betting on. I'm not betting on any women's MMA that's low level. I need some top tier women's MMA for me to bet on. All right. Another fight that was just put together that's being fought at 160 pounds. It's a fight between Justin Jaynes and Devonte Smith. The original opponent of Devonte Smith was Alex da Silva, who pulled out due to injury, I believe. And we just got a line on Devonte Smith. I think we did. Hold on. We did just get a line on Devonte Smith, and he opened at a minus 280 favorite. A minus 280 favorite, and the comeback on Justin Jaynes is a plus 240 underdog. If the best prop here would be fight does not go to a decision, but of course that's minus 400. Can't really bet on that. So I think the only way to bet on this under 1.5 rounds, minus 155. Devonte Smith by knockout, minus 155. I would go with probably the under 1.5 rounds, minus 155, 150 in this fight. I can't really do much else there because I'm not taking Smith on 2-year layoff, minus 280. It's crazy steep. Jaynes has some chin issues. Being up to 160 pounds doesn't really help him. He was slow at 170, brought down to 155. He just doesn't look great. But I hope he wins. He's a cool dude. Talk to him. But I'm taking the under 1.5 rounds. One of these two dudes is getting starched early, plus the small cage. Give me under 1.5 rounds, minus 150 on that fight. And if I'm taking a winner, I'm going to take Smith via knockout. All right, so what our next fight up? Our next fight is at 145 pounds between Timur Valiev and Martin Day. Right now, Valiev is a minus 335 favorite, and the comeback on Day is a plus 275 underdog. This is now arguably my lock on this card. Timur Valiev, a minus 335, I think is still a gift. This is arguably the easiest fight of Valiev's career or very recent career. Because there's no one worse than Martin Day that he's fought in the last 5 years or so, or maybe more. Even on the regional scene. The dude's fought legit competition. He comes in as a top prospect. He's got it all. He's got the striking. He's got the combinations. He's going to eat up the lead leg of Martin Day, his skinny legs that he's got. He's going to push forward. He's got the grappling that Day's not going to be able to stop the takedowns, just like he hasn't done his entire UFC career. Day's taking this on short notice, up 10 pounds. He's going to be, yes, he's going to be the taller guy, the lankier guy, but he's going to be the smaller guy in terms of size. Yeah, this is a lock, guys. I can't say much more other than Valiev is a lock. He should be in every single parlay. He's absolutely winning this fight. He's winning this fight. Can't get an easier opponent on short notice. A straight-up kickboxer, a guy that wants to just strike. And the last time he got a takedown, he got guillotined. The first time he went for a takedown, I think in his UFC career, he got guillotined because he's just not good. So I think Valiev can possibly get a submission here, which would be, I think, like, should be like plus 200, plus 250, maybe. And for him to win inside the distance, I think it's plus 180. So I might sprinkle a little bit on that. But Valiev is in every single parlay that I have. Straight bets, I'll be doing other things, but Valiev's got to be in everything. I mean, every double, every triple, everything, because he's winning this fight. All right. Next up, we have a fight at light heavyweight between Mike Rodriguez and Danilo Marques. And we're back to another theme of low-level heavyweights that we're not going to bet on. These two are definition of low-level heavyweights, light heavyweights. Mike Rodriguez has lost fights that he should have won on multiple occasions. Danilo Marques did not look good in his UFC debut. Even with the win, he didn't look good. Didn't look, surprising. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then you have Rodriguez as a minus 205 favorite and Marques as like a plus 190 underdog. Doesn't scream bet to me on either side. I don't like. You would think Rodriguez would be able to just KO him, but then he just grinds out a decision, and then you're like, well, who saw that coming? It's happened in multiple Rodriguez's fights, and then he loses to guys that he should have beaten. That's why not betting. Pass all day. Not even a dog or pass. This is just pass situation. All right. So next up, we have a fight at 155 pounds between between Michael Johnson and Clay Guida. Two UFC veterans. Massive UFC veterans. These guys got 10 plus fights. I think Guida's got 20 fights in the UFC. Dude's been super active. Michael Johnson on a 3-fight losing streak. Guida's won his last fight. I know he's lost his last 2, I believe, and his only fight he's won in the last 3 years was BJ Penn. So that doesn't say much. And then Michael Johnson's been losing every which way possible, whether it's like a decision, a knockout, or a submission. All 3 he's lost by in his last 3 fights. He hasn't won a fight in over 3 years. And he's now a minus 240 favorite. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. I don't care how bad Clay Guida is. That Michael Johnson should never, ever be such a massive favorite, especially at this stage of his career. As far as this fight goes, I do think, it's Johnson's fight to win. He's the better striker. He should be have the defensive wrestling to keep the fight on the feet, but I kind of want to take my chances on Guida here. A Guida decision prop was plus 300. A Guida win is plus 240, I believe. It's crazy. Guida is definitely going to he's going to be the busier fighter. That's a dude that will fight for your money, win or lose. And he's never a bad bet at over 2-1 odds as an underdog because he fights for your money, because he grapples and he strikes. Even though he gets hit a ton, he gets hit a fucking shit ton, but he's going to go in there. He's going to take you down. He's going to grind you out. He's got submissions. He's still got deceptive power even at his old age. Man, plus 240 ain't so bad. Plus 300 by decision ain't bad either. He could squeak out a one of those losses that Johnson got in one of his recent fights. Could definitely happen. Key in on that prop. Clay Guida by decision at plus 300. Okay. Whew. Yes. All right, guys. Next up, we have a fight in the lightweight division between Diego Ferreira and Beneil Dariush. This is a rematch that happened about 5 or 6 years ago, where Dariush pretty much dominated the fight. Fast forward to present time, they are both on a massive winning streak. Ferreira is on a 6-fight winning streak, with his only 2 losses to Dariush and Dustin Poirier. He's looked phenomenal ever since that loss to Poirier, and he's just looked great. Defensive grappling looked like it's gotten a lot better. His striking got a lot better. He finished Pettis. He was beating up Pettis on the feet. He took him down. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Subbed his ass. That was a great showing there. He beat Marbek Taisamov. That was a great fight. He was an underdog in that fight. He beat him to shit. It was very, very impressive. He just looked good. Dariush has looked good as well. He came in and starched Scott Holtzman in the first round with a spinning back fist. That was extremely impressive. The war he had in his fight prior to that. And the dude's just been on a tear. He's finished 4 of his 5 fights in his win streak. And even though the dude has gray hair, he looks like he never ages. He never ages, I'm telling you. This dude has been a staple at 155-pound division in the UFC for quite some time now, and he's still at the top of his game, riding a 5-fight win streak. Man, this is going to be a great, great fight. The thing I have against Dariush is he's an underdog. He's cashed in on 6 of 7 underdog bets. He's a great underdog better. Thing is, everybody's betting him at dog money. That's never a good thing. If you've listened to my podcast earlier and other times, I've talked about betting on dogs where majority of the public is on and the line's not moving in their direction. This is one instance. This was like a minus 110 fight at one point, and everybody's hammering Dariush all the way down. Now he's plus 105. That doesn't make any sense, especially when majority of the people are betting on him. So that's never good. And there's like 67% of the public on him. I don't like that. I think Ferreira is going to be able to keep this fight on the feet. He's progressed so much in his striking over time. I think he's going to be able to. He puts on such a crazy pace and volume, especially as of late, that if Dariush doesn't get a finish early, I think he's going to get drowned by the pace and the volume and the pressure that Ferreira is going to put on him later on in rounds 2 and 3. So I'm taking Ferreira here, minus 125. Still good line. Guy's on 6-fight win streak. He's been killing it. 3 wins inside the distance, 3 decisions, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. Dude's deadly. No matter where the fight is, I'm taking him minus 125 in that fight. Our next fight up on the main card is a fight at 135 pounds between Cody Stamann and Askar. Dude has 2 first names. That's quite impressive. I think he might be the only fighter in UFC history with two, count it, two first names. All right, so I don't know the line yet. Actually, I think I do. It's minus 390. Minus 390 for Cody Stamann and plus like 250 on the comeback for Askar. So this is another kind of gimme fight. Stamann was getting ready for Andre Ewell, who, you know, had to get off the card due to a false positive on a corona test, unfortunately. So that fight's off. That was going to be a great fight. Now Stamann gets a newcomer, a short notice debut fight from Askar, who's a decent prospect, but none like Cody Stamann. I think Stamann should be able to just, you know, absolutely grind him out for the entirety of the fight. I think him to win by decision is minus 150. It's not great, but it's decent. Over 2.5 rounds is minus 250. Still kind of crazy juice, but seems pretty reliable as well. I mean, Stamann doesn't really go for the finish unless he pulls a Ricky Simone. But Ricky Simone's actually got finishes in his career, unlike Stamann. So I'm taking Cody Stamann to win by decision, minus 150, because I can't lay that minus 390 juice on that. All right, next fight in the 125 pounds in the flyweight division, the men's flyweight division, is a fight between Alexandre Pantoja and Manel Cape. I don't know if I'm saying these guys' names right, but I think I am. All right. This is a great fight, guys. I'm super fucking excited for this fight. This is arguably my fight of the night fight right here at 125 pounds. Pantoja, I think, is minus 145. The comeback on Cape is a plus 115 underdog. This is going to be fireworks from the get-go. Cape coming over from Ryzen as the Ryzen Bantamweight champion, coming to the UFC in the flyweight division. He's going to be a bigger dude, not tall-wise, but thick-wise. The dude's got a lot of muscle on him. He's pretty big. He's got good grappling. He's very fast, great power, diverse with his striking, talks a lot of shit. He's a great addition to the UFC. And welcoming him is Pantoja, who's, I think, riding a 2-fight skid, but, you know, it was against Askarov and Figueiredo, so you can't really fault him there. He's beating, you know, the who's who of the flyweight division, like Brandon Moreno and co. So the dude's fought elite competition. So Cape is literally jumping into the lion's den. That's how confident Dana White is in this kid, Cape. And I'm super confident in his abilities as well. He's going to bring the fight out of Pantoja, who was really kind of laid back in that fight against Askarov, who he took that fight on short notice against. He kind of wasn't ready for the fight, so he kind of let Askarov do as he pleases. He, you know, walked him down, took him down, and just wore him out. This is the fight where Cape's going to bring the fight to Pantoja. He's going to strike with him, and he's going to bring the fight out of, you know, and it's going to be great fight, back and forth battle. But I do think Cape's got that power, that, you know, ever-changing power, game-changing power, where he's going to take over in that second round. He's going to crack him with a right hand or some crazy unorthodox strike, and he's going to get Pantoja out of there in the second round. And he's going to cash as a plus 115 underdog. Mark my words. All right. Oh, man, this stuff is so strong. All right. In the women's bantamweight division, we have a fight between Marion Renault and Macy Chiasson, I think. Go Macy. Right now, Macy's a minus 220 favorite, and the comeback on Renault is like a plus 180 underdog. The UFC vet in Renault on a 3-fight skid. I think she's about 40 years old. She's on her last legs, and this is probably her last hurrah in the UFC. Macy's still young in her career, 6-1. She looked dominant in majority of her wins. Her one and only loss is where she obviously looked her worst, and that was against Lena Landsberg. Granted, Lena Landsberg is not even remotely as good as Renault, and neither is remotely any of the people that Macy has beaten. But Macy has massive size advantage in this fight. She's still a pretty good striker. She throws a lot of combinations, a lot of volume. She outlands her opponents by 2-to-1 ratio as well. She's got like a 4 or 5 inch reach advantage, so she's going to be able to use the kicks, use the jab to just stay at range as much as possible. And then Renault is going to really want this fight on the ground, and I don't think she's going to be able to muscle her against the cage and take her down. I mean, Macy's a pretty big girl, and I think she's going to be able to defend the takedowns and just piece her up on the feet, at will, as she pleases. Minus 220 is a little steep for me as a price, but I think she can win via decision. I think it's like minus 130 for a decision prop. It's not terrible, but considering I do think she wins. All right. Next up, we in the co-main event of the evening. We're up to the co-main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. With a fight in the bantamweight division, a great fight, a fight that was supposed to happen a year ago around the same time last year. We have a fight between Corey Sandhagen and Frankie Edgar. Right now, Sandhagen is a massive minus 400 favorite, and Frankie Edgar is about a 325 underdog. And rightfully so. Sandhagen has looked phenomenal, other than the Aljamain Sterling loss, which is his only loss in his 6-1 UFC career. He's looked sensational. He's coming off a great performance against Marlon Moraes, winning in round 2 with that spinning back kick to the head. Knocked him out. It was sensational. And he's taken on Frankie Edgar. First fight in the bantamweight division was successful. He won a split decision against Pedro Munoz. Even though most people thought he lost, he still won the fight. And, kudos to him. He's 1-0 in the bantamweight division. And he's the only one, if I'm not mistaken, the only fighter that has a win across 3 weight classes. That's 155, 145, and now 135. He's got wins in every division. The dude's a staple in the UFC, future Hall of Famer. And now he's only fought the best competition. So now he's fighting number 3 ranked bantamweight contender, Corey Sandhagen. That's how much they think of Frankie Edgar and what he's done for the sport. That they're throwing him against number 3, Corey Sandhagen, who's been on an absolute tear, killing everybody other than Aljamain Sterling. And I don't think anything's going to be different here. I think he's going to come in. He's going to start Frankie Edgar within 2 rounds. I think he possibly even can get him out in the first round. Sandhagen knows he needs to win in emphatic fashion. He needs a knockout to cement himself a title fight before TJ Dillashaw decides to come back into the picture. Because, Corey Sandhagen, he's been the long staple in the bantamweight division while Dillashaw was out with his, PED use. I think Corey Sandhagen deserves it. Whether it's a decision win or a knockout, he deserves that shit and not TJ Dillashaw. So we will see what perspires, after this event. But Corey Sandhagen all day in this fight. He should be locked in as well into your parlays. And even if it adds $20 or $30, he's not losing this fight against Frankie Edgar. I think, the massive size advantage. He's like, 5 or 6 inches taller than him. He's got like a 7 to 8 inch reach advantage as well. I'm not having it. Corey Sandhagen should definitely win this fight and style on him in the process as well. And we are finally up to our main event on this card. in the heavyweight division between Alistair Overeem and Alexander Volkov. Right now, Volkov is a -185 favorite, and I believe Overeem's about a 150 underdog. This is going to be a very, very good fight. We have the surging Overeem, who's won his last 2 fights against Walt Harris and Augustus Sakai. And then you have Volkov coming off of arguably one of his best performances in the UFC next to Fabricio Verdum when he took out Walt Harris in the second round. So very, very impressive heavyweights coming into this. And whoever wins this fight probably, has a chance at getting a title shot in the next fight or two. Definitely. As far as how this fight is going to play out, I think if this fight is fought at distance, it's Volkov's fight to lose. He's a much better kickboxer than Overeem. He's much better at fighting at distance. There's not a single fighter that's outstruck Volkov at distance ever in his tenure in the UFC. Volkov, before the Curtis Blades fight, had an 83% takedown defense. Curtis Blades tends to skew anybody's, takedown defense numbers if they're able to, withstand it for, 25 minutes. So he was able to get back up all those times. He defended off submission attempts. So even if Overeem decides to take him down, I don't think he's going to really do too much damage. And then if you even look at the 2 wins of Overeem, right? You look at the 2 wins. He fought Augustus Sakai, right? If you look at the statistics, the first 3 rounds, he was double up in every single round in strikes landed and strikes thrown in every single round for all 3 rounds. Then comes the end of the third. He took down Sakai. Sakai's never been in a 25-minute fight ever in his entire life, so it's the first time. Then he got taken down that third round, and then it was just kind of all she wrote because he completely gassed himself out after that. All he had to do was just take him down, and then that's pretty much what happened. He took him down, held his arm, and just bashed him in with the other one. He couldn't even, he had no power. He had no gas left. That's how he won that fight. And then you look at the Walt Harris fight. He almost got finished in the first round. He looked like the ref should have stopped the fight, but he didn't. It is what it is. And then Overeem took over after Harris, who came in 15 pounds overweight, gassed himself out after that first round. So you're talking about the reason why Overeem won his last 2 fights was because his opponents gassed themselves out in both fights. In comes Volkov, who didn't even gas out against Curtis Blades, trying to defend 18 takedowns in 25 minutes. He did not gas out. He actually was a fresher fighter by round 5, and he was putting it on Blades to the point where he could have had a comeback win. In this fight, Overeem is going to try to fight in the clinch. He's going to need to work up in the clinch against the cage and land those takedowns, because at range, he's going to get murdered. He's going to get absolutely picked apart with relative ease. And I am taking Alexander Volkov here, -185. I'm not going with the public. The public is betting up Alistair Overeem. The line hasn't shifted whatsoever. 65% are on Overeem, thinking he's going to win because of his last 2, his last 2 wins were inside the distance, and they were kind of impressive. Yeah, they were impressive, but the dude is on his last legs. He's like 42, 43. Volkov is still in his prime. He doesn't have the wear and tear that Overeem has, who has like almost 70 fights, I believe. Something crazy like that. I think Volkov has this fight, and I think we're getting a good line on him, -185. And also the stretch of main event underdogs has got to stop. The bookmakers have to give us the money back in the main events. These underdog main eventers are pulling through. They're not going to stay true the entire year. They're giving it back, and it's going to happen this fight here, and it's going to happen next weekend with Kamaru Usman taking on Gilbert Burns. And we're just going to get a stretch of those type of main event fights coming in on favorites, because they cashed in the first month. they gotta give it back in month 2. That's just how it works. That's how it works. So yeah, that's my breakdown. That is the breakdown for UFC Vegas 18, Overeem versus Volkov. Guys, I need you to go to my YouTube page and like and subscribe to this video that will be posted tomorrow. But go over there and subscribe to the channel. And guys, follow me at Twitter at Fight Analysts, and on Instagram, Facebook, The Fight Analysts. Get my package for this weekend, www.thefightanalyst.com. It's just $25. We're gonna make a killing this weekend. We're gonna get all this money back that we lost, last month. I know I said we lost, yes, because I'm being transparent. I did lose money last month, but new month, new money, new fights. We're gonna get this money. I'm looking forward to it, and look forward to more of my content on my YouTube page, The Fight Analyst, and also MMA Power Hour. I will talk to you guys next time. We'll see you all cashing out at the ticket window.